This house is on a Hebridean island where my husband and I came one time in the summer and we fell in love with the whole place. And we found this ruin and decided it would be an amazing place to build a kind of hideaway retreat from the world. So we started the restoration project. Aldridge and Supple came about because I was lucky enough to work with Scarlett. Previously, I was her client, and we did a cottage together in Oxfordshire. And when she was looking at moving her work, we had a chat, and that's when we decided it would be nice to do something together. Also, my passion, secretly, has always been interiors, and so it was a chance for me to work with someone who had all the knowledge, but I could bring in the kind of creativity that I like to have.
We have a small studio in London. We love restoration and trying to be as sustainable as possible with all our materials. We've worked with local contractors to recreate and restore its original beauty using stonework from the island and surrounding ruins in the area. We decided to do the double height ceiling in this space too, which was really lovely, and they're reclaimed beams actually from an old railway station.
And then we wanted to make a very large window here so that your whole relationship is with the nature outside. And so the inside and the outside it's very important that they work together. So the landscape on this island is very raw and rough, but also incredibly beautiful. I mean, you have the sea, and what's lovely is the ever-changing light here, and the heathers and the plants and the ferns, and there's just so much to reference. Even the colours of the stones have come into our palette when we're working on inside the house, and it's just about the whole sort of freedom that one feels up here. We like the mixture, don't we, of sort of like, you might buy something from a dealer, but then again you might find something for £10, and I love the mixture of things together. I think it's about where you place something, and everything has a story, every item has a story.
Well, as a studio, we particularly love textures and adding layers into each space. It means that you can work with these really heavy wools for curtains. We've added quite beautiful details with kind of keeping the fringing and the fray. The sofa fabric, it's a slightly more contemporary design, but we put a lovely woven wool on it. It's actually an Irish wool from Secluded. But it's also very durable and works really well in the environment and very welcoming. And then we've layered it with, you know, big, heavy wool cushions. This is the original gable wall of the ruin. There was actually this tiny little window that we've recreated, which is a really quirky detail. There's another little actually nook here, and these are actually lovely max rollet lights, which we've used in a couple of our projects. But it's a really soft, low-level light that just, you don't need too much directional light in this space. We were quite generous with the size of the fireplace. It's actually an old wood burner, so it just feels like it's been there forever. We've got these little milking stools that we love collecting, and they work really well in Scotland and just add character to the space. And it's just such a welcoming spot, and in the kind of environment you're in, it's just perfect to come and cozy up by the fire. We love to work with the reclaimed materials, and we've used them all over the property where we can. This in particular, we really searched for. It's so hard to find a coffee table that works proportionally. And this is one solid piece of timber. It's probably like 19th century. And the patina is just so beautiful. It almost looks like a piece of driftwood that you've kind of found up here. And we love the chunky legs and the height. So we wanted to create quite a big opening to obviously maximise this incredible view outside. We work with an incredible metal worker called Michael Jakes. You can open up these two big doors and you're just at one with the beautiful space outside.
So as with many kitchens, this is the heart of the house. It sits between the living room and the snug room, and it's just lovely that everyone can kind of meet in the middle. But if someone's over there and I'm making some food here, you can have a conversation, and it's all very communal. I love sitting around with lots of people. The table itself is so beautiful that it's so aged and has lots of patina in it. And it's just a great place to prep and get ready for a lovely evening. Scarlett and I wanted to bring quite a lot of texture into the kitchen, just as a theme through the whole house, and I found this beautiful kind of butter sink at a reclamation yard, so it kind of started with the process of that, And then we looked at this poured concrete, which I love because it just anchors the whole kitchen. And then we added the aged reclamation wood, which gave it everything just such a beautiful texture. And then we have lovely open shelves and paintings just to make it feel more like a room rather than a kind of all singing, all dancing, lots of appliances kitchen. The red quarry tiles are traditionally used in houses in Norfolk, but I wanted to use them up here because I spent a lot of time in my childhood in Norfolk, so it was a very personal reminder of the kitchen floors I used to see up there, and I just love the colour here. It's so pretty.
So we originally designed this space to be a boot room. It just became such a beautiful and cosy space that we actually ended up adding this lovely pair of faux leather chairs. They were actually found from different places, but they just work really well together. And then we actually used some antique fabric that we had lying around from old projects to make the cushions. We've layered in, and it's been really nice that we've used slightly different antiques that we don't normally use. So we've got a lot of folk, like this pig bench over here, and then we've also mixed it in with a Spanish, probably 19th century painted piece, which it kind of all works together, and it's things that you might not necessarily think of putting together, but with the layers they work really well. The ceiling finish is actually a slight accident. They're the lath boards for the plaster before you put the plaster on, but actually they were so beautiful when they were put up. We just thought they worked really well with the space, and the timber with the slightly darker timber and then the stone, it's just a really beautiful feature.
It's so sweet to have a flower room because you can come in here after being outside with the nature, bring everything in and arrange it. And what I love about the environment here is that if it's the winter, there's bracken, and if it's the spring, there's flowers. There's always something to cut. The sink is a beautiful, heavy, old sink, and we put it onto a table. So the two items were separate, and we put them together and then find some freestanding taps. So it just works beautifully as a whole unit. And then I bought this lovely set of flower drawings, which I think obviously are completely perfect in a flower room. I think what's really nice in small spaces to have a lot of things. So in here there's like baskets and the pictures and the vases and the flowers, and it just, if you're on your own in here, it's just really cozy and just a nice place to contemplate. With the bedroom, we wanted to create a really peaceful, serene space, even though it's very voluminous and lots of height. But I think with the colours and the textures coming in, you create something that is homey and just simple. I didn't want to feel overwhelmed in the bedroom. I wanted to feel very gentle because of the 4 windows. There's a lot of aspects of the outside, which are, again, you know, it's just all for me about enjoying the outside as much as the inside. Part of what we love to do as a studio is to design product ourselves, and the bed Scarlett designed with Michael Jakes, who did the beautiful doors downstairs. We made a clear decision to make quite deep windowsills in this room, so with the radiator over here you can sit on the sill and be quite warm and look out the window, and the sills were all done in the fish farm wood, which again is a lovely textured wood that we just have so much joy using. So this is the bathroom that joins the main bedroom, and the bath was put here deliberately so you had the 2 windows either side, so you could just get in and look out, and it was a conscious decision not to have any curtains, so often here the moon can be incredible, so you can just enjoy the night views. And behind the tongue and groove wall here we have the shower and the loo slightly hidden away so that when you're in the bathroom it's just all about the bath and the fire and being cosy.
So we're here at the back of the house. It's a really unusual construction flowing into the hillside. Traditionally, quite a lot of the bothy ruins and cottages were rendered on the outside, but we've actually exposed the stone just because of the rawness and the beauty of it. The process of establishing the grass roof actually worked really well. It's really matured, and at this time of year it's just beautiful with the wildflowers in the meadow, and it just seems to get better and better as time goes along.
I really want this place to be somewhere where I can come, or my family, or my friends, and just feel really away from a lot of stress or chaos. I mean, it is for me a place of calm and having a sense of just peacefulness.